Like to call the February 9th meeting of the Parks and Trails Commission to order. Everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from last month. Anybody have any additions or any comments? Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
Okay, been firsted and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. I don't see anybody else except for our candidate sitting in the audience. Do we have anybody online that's not on the commission then? So
It's just this you.
who?
Just Lynn.
Oh, just Lynn?
Just
Okay.
Lynn and Ashley.
Oh, and Ashley. Okay. Okay. So then I guess we can move on to the next topics from the floor. New business. Number 2, interview Lori Baker for Parks and Trails position. Do you want to come up to the table, Lori? Have you been following us at all or know what we kind of do or?
No,
Okay.
I live in St. Helens,
Uh-huh.
so I live here. I use the parks.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't, to be honest, followed what St. Helens Parks Commission's been doing. I did watch, or I didn't watch, but I listened to your last 2 most recent meetings
Okay.
to kind of get a flavor of the group and what you're doing and what you're talking about currently. Yeah. It does give pause. But yeah.
Some of our meetings are a little bit interesting, but we're hoping to get away from the long drawn out thing with that. Do things more with our parks and stuff. Always my main question to ask people is 4 o'clock all right with you to attend our meetings then?
Yes, on Monday, I don't work Mondays, so I do work full time. I'm not retired. But I have Mondays off, so
Okay,
your meeting times.
okay, okay.
Goes with my schedule.
You were with the Columbia Parks.
I was, for almost 20 years.
20 years. Can you describe a little bit more on that?
I was the maintenance person. I was I started out as a summer seasonal. I did 2 years of that and then was hired permanent part-time for 3 years for a while, several years, and then it eventually became a full-time position because it is a full-time position. At the time, Columbia County didn't have a maintenance person on staff when they hired me. So
How do you think that'll help you on this?
well, I really know about our local parks in Columbia County. They're different. County parks and city parks are different and they serve different needs for the community. But I think it could serve this commission in a couple of ways. I'm really familiar with what makes parks safe and accessible and beautiful. Really familiar the pressures of maintenance and what they need and how an advisory commission can support maintenance and get all up in their business in ways that can make their job more challenging. I think I have a perspective on that is could be helpful. And during my time with Columbia County Parks, I attended the Parks Advisory meetings for most of those times and had a good relationship with the Parks Advisory Board. It was there were so few of us together to accomplish the objectives. So and I love parks a lot, and I think both for Columbia County and the city of St. Helens, I think the diversity of parks and services that a community has is what makes them really great. If all you have is picnic areas and that's it, then that's great, but that is really limiting. And St. Helens has a really, we have a lot of diversity in the park system here. And there could be more diversity in the park system in St. Helens for sure, but we have a lot for our community to offer and maintain.
Because our parks really have a
And
pretty
grow.
limited budget, so.
All parks everywhere have limited budgets, city, county, national,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, are you available occasionally on a Saturday for a work party, or do you work, get Mondays off, you're working Saturdays?
Work Saturdays, yeah, so not regularly, like a couple times a year. Yeah, because I would have to request leave to do that. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't support work parties on the front end.
Mhm.
I have a lot of experience organizing
Sure.
parties.
So you frequent the parks a lot. What's your favorite park that we have?
In the city of St. Helens system. I probably use McCormick the most. But I don't know that it's my favorite park. I love it. I also love the botanical gardens. I think that they are a hidden treasure that could really be so much more. If I had to pick one, it would probably be that. Godfrey Park is like my neighborhood park. It's the one I walk my dog to. And I also like Dalton Lake area and I use it a lot too.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's technically a city park, but yeah, it's the idea of the urban trail is like, wow, that's super exciting. And I had no idea about Civic Pride Park until I went into your.
A lot of people know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Some of our
no
more
idea.
forgotten parks. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
You were part of the Friends of Dibley State. Work on there.
Yeah. Do you know where Dibley Point is? It's the riverfront area. Just right next to USG and the Longview Rainier Bridge. So that riverfront area there. And it's public, it's a county park now, but for a long time, and still is to some degree, it was the Department of State Lands property and open to the public. And I grew up across the railroad tracks. And it's one of those areas that historically was loved and abused in arguably equal measures. And the fishing, it's a fishing spot, fishing hotspot. And one of the only areas that you can really access the Columbia River right down to it, besides Prescott, but I mean, you can just like drive right into the water at Dibley if you want to. Not that you should. I'm not saying that that's a thing to do, but it's a special place.
Mhm.
So anyway, Friends of Dibley was all about cleaning it up because there was no entity that managed the property. So there was a lot of garbage. And I guess when I said it was abused and loved in equal measures, that wasn't true because the community responded to clean that up. And for 18 consecutive years, hosted annual community cleanups. And partnered with Solve, and it was awesome. And I think those efforts, well, actually, I know those efforts really steered it towards it becoming a county park. That was one of our objectives, is to help facilitate that process. And it did. And Friends of Dibley Point disbanded a couple years after that. Cause as you all know, I'm sure that's hard work. Running a community volunteer group. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Any more questions from here? You have any questions from the people online? Lynn or Ashley? Okay. Well, I thank you for coming to the meeting. We'll have to discuss this later in the meeting, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Yes, whatever.
Okay, okay.
Our candidate.
Yeah, I think so.
What makes you say that?
Along the list of the application.
Mhm.
I can tell you I would participate in your meetings. Like you will find that I'm opinionated. And will participate. Which I hope that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well,
And I'm happy to step out if you wanted.
no, that's fine. It's being recorded, so. You know,
I make a motion that we have Lori join our commission.
okay,
Second it.
okay. Any more questions anyway? Nobody online? Okay, then all those in favor of having Lori become a new Parks and Trails Commission member, raise your hands and say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, I guess the motion carries.
So now it goes to the commission.
Yep,
Okay.
city council,
The council.
and they'll hopefully approve you. We've never had them disapprove anybody. The ultimate decision is always there.
So guys come back next month
You
and
should be a part of us next month, yeah.
I think one of our secretaries will notify you of what
Yeah.
the city council has to say, if I'm correct.
I'll reach out to you.
Okay,
all right.
you're welcome to stick around and.
Do you mind if I just?
Yeah, no.
Sit around, listen. Pick on Paul.
All right.
Pick on Paul. He just bought that hack
Station.
today. Today.
All the seal.
Yeah, that's just that.
Okay. Okay, so that was number 2. Let's go on to number 3, Botanical Gardens Priorities and Volunteer Session. Ashley.
Yes, hi. I had a couple of points I wanted to bring up about the Botanical Gardens, the Friends of Botanical Gardens group. Firstly, I've been thinking forward to a volunteer work party in the spring, and just knowing I have to plan that around the Nob Hill work party, and there were other things as well that would be worth considering and planning it around as well. So I thought maybe that's something we could discuss and maybe set, we don't have to set a solid date today, but something I'd like help setting a solid date for.
Okay.
And then I have a Facebook for the Friends of Botanical Garden set up. It's like, there's nothing on it. There's no pictures. There's no posts or anything, but I know it was mentioned in the past that there's somebody I should be speaking to, I think Crystal, about the protocol and yeah, I don't know.
I believe what it is that it can be a private friends group page where they have to ask to join. Because if you went under the guise of the city the cities, they would be the ones doing the posting on it. So Caroline has ours set up as a private Facebook page where people have to ask to join, and, you know, it's kind of more of a private one. And then she never turns anybody down that wants to be on it.
Right.
But you may verify that I'm correct with her, that's the way that progresses.
Okay, yeah, I can reach
I
out. to
believe
Karen.
that's the way we got around our problem with it.
Okay, cool.
You know, far as were you thinking of in April or March or?
Yeah, I mean, probably March or April is what I was thinking. I mean, we could push it to May. Just like in the springtime, I think would be fine.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, May could be a little bit freer or the very end of March, but you know, April for me becomes real busy. I got at least 2 or 3 events that I'm
Okay.
Saturdaying in April.
Right, okay. I think March would be a good goal.
Okay.
Towards the end of March?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't have a calendar with me right now.
Last week of March is spring break. That's the 28th and 29th, I think.
March. Yes, 28th and 29th. Which would work for me.
That would be pretty good for me too.
So tentatively Saturday, March 28th, we think.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we always get in touch with like Crystal, so you can try to get it like in the city's newsletter and that
Okay.
type of thing. Yeah, I believe that's the way it goes. Talk to Crystal.
Cool.
And me and Caroline sometimes will let the local paper know about it a few weeks in advance too. Sometimes they may actually do a small article
Okay,
or mention it in their thing.
awesome. Thank you. And I will also be speaking with this guy.
For next month as well.
Yeah, we could. You want to put it on the agenda for next month just to double check everything?
Double check. Which part?
That we're doing a work party and we can talk about it a little bit more of what we want to try to accomplish there. Give you a little bit more time and we can sit back and think, and then Jerry can be around too, because Jerry sometimes has been real helpful in having ideas of what we should be trying to do in there, if it's working on trails and clearing and that type of
All that stuff. Pulling invasive plants.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great to also put it in next month's agenda and get more, hash out the details more.
Okay.
And I also was going to have Sophie, the GIS tech, and Gilly, the vegetation manager with Scappoose Bay Watershed Council, come out with me to the botanical gardens to do
Okay.
like a tour and like help me figure out some priority areas. Caroline's already given me some great advice on like tree ivy, and that should be the priority. So I've already got that in my mind. But yeah, so that's just something I was planning on doing, is having them come out and do a little tour with me.
Okay.
Poison oak.
Poison oak, yeah.
Yeah, and one of our newest volunteers at Nob Hill recently come down with poison oak.
Yeah, definitely.
So even if it's not out and the leaves are out this time of the year, it still can get you. You know.
Yeah.
And if you do it on a day when I'm available, I probably could join you too if you wanted, Ashley, and meet you over there. The botanical park too.
Great, thank you.
2 cents worth.
Yeah, totally, thank you.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have for today on the matter.
Okay. That sounds good. Let's see now. Botanical Park number 3 is done. Number 4. We've never decided from last month if we still wanted that roundtable talk with questions. I almost think a lot of them were asked already. I don't know if I know of any more question to ask. about that? Is that something we want to continue or?
We don't need to keep it as an agenda item, but if one of us thinks of it at some point, we could always bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cause it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I guess we someday could say maybe each commissioner gets a turn at picking one. What question would they want to ask?
Well, this gives the chance for the new commissioners to go to the parks and stuff too, and then we can ask them too.
Okay. So we can bring it back up again in another month or so. Kind of go from there, if that sounds reasonable.
I have something I want to say.
Yeah, Lynn?
I'd like to, you probably already know what I'm going to say. I'd like to discontinue that kind of discussion. I think what some people there might not know is we used to take on a park or parks, a couple of parks, and report back at a round table. If you didn't have anything, then you didn't need to say anything about that park. But if there was something that happened, or you had a cleanup or you needed something that should have been done and it wasn't, I mean, a various amount of things on your park. And we used to discuss that at the table. And I'd like to bring that back if we could, because maintenance, I know, could sure use the help in all the parks. And we stopped that about a year and a half ago.
You know, that brings us probably back to the same idea again, that system that we started going down with reporting and all that other stuff. With rotating every 3 months, we've never really come up with a solid policy on how we want to deal with that project,
The assessments.
the assessments.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Try to get a one-on-one.
I think it-
on it and
Okay,
with Buck, and I haven't been able to yet.
okay.
See how it.
We can wait another month. Yeah. Now, since we're kind of in.
I
this-
think
Yeah, Lynn?
I think that the commission could be more effective for the city of St. Helens in helping with those parks instead of doing, spending a half hour talking. That's just my personal opinion. It was very effective what we were doing. And that's my opinion. Thank you.
See if you still can talk and maybe we'll put it on the agenda for next month and talk
Yeah.
about this again. And if we decide to change, I have no qualms about going back to what we were doing before, where each commissioner would have a park. A couple of parks that you kind of look after, and once a year, once every few months, you report back on what you've been seeing at that particular park. Is that what we used to do, I believe? So that
Mhm.
could be a good way to go back to it,
Or a third way,
What?
And we did that for about 30 years.
Yeah,
maybe a third way,
third way?
another way. 'Cause I don't think, because this all, not all of us were happy with the old system. So
Uh-huh.
that's why we start with the assistants, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that we kind of talked about maybe trying to come up with a hybrid version, maybe,
yeah, okay,
a little both or whatever. but-
yeah. Can you put that on the agenda for next month for us
Running
to
around forever.
try to come up with a final solution at our next meeting on exactly how we want.
And then next month you'll have an opportunity to say what you think, right?
Yeah.
We'll give you a park.
Yeah,
So you have some things to say. You probably heard the last couple of meetings talking about it.
so, okay. So bring your ideas and stuff for next month on that. Okay, so I guess that takes care of number 4. On to old business, Middle Creek Reserve.
We had a good turnout with our walkthrough,
Our site visit.
our site visit with the port. Like what, 20 some people there?
What I mean. We just went on the city side. It took a while, they poke around quite a bit, it was a very nice day for it. The whole idea. We had just one counselor council member there, Mark Anderson,
Uh-huh.
and he's definitely on board with the whole concept.
Mhm.
Like to plan another site visit sometime maybe into early April, I don't, or early to mid-April. To see some of the camas blooming, specifically on the port side.
Camas is a little bit later than April though, isn't it?
It starts mid-April. We don't wanna trample everything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've always
Because
thought
we didn't get to the other side, so we're thinking about another one.
that would be
That
neat to
way-
go on the other side. And I would,
Also like to get out there for the camps too.
Mhm.
People were very enthusiastic about the whole thing.
Yeah, we had a very diverse group of people, so it was really interesting getting to talk to so many different people. A lot of commissioners from the port were
Yeah.
there and other organizations.
And John.
And John, yes, John made it out there.
Had a great time, thank you.
If you do it later in the afternoon, I can make it.
Pretty in the evenings when it's all blooming, so.
Yeah, an evening could work good too. I said a lot of Saturdays in April are taken up by
Discuss it.
plant sale. Okay, okay.
We also testified at the board meeting. That was good. I think they were happy with what we said.
Mhm.
Also, I had Lindsay contact me about a grant and wanting a quick turnaround, and John, he turned that around within a couple of hours, so that was very nice of him.
Uh-huh.
So they were very happy with that because they're part of their narrative with their EPA grant. So
Uh-huh.
this worked out really well.
Could they actually maybe get ahead of us with the trail on their side of the creek before we get an official trail?
This is for the narrative for the Open Talbots.
Oh, okay.
Because we're open to eventually have the waterfront trail go along all the way to Open Talbot side and then connect with the Milton Creek Trail and then also the St. Helens Scappoose Trail that is being discussed
Mhm.
right now. So it's all coming along. Slowly
Okay.
but surely.
Okay, okay, okay. Is that it then for Milton Creek?
That's all we have to update for now.
Okay, okay. That's number
I-
5 out of the
have-
way. Huh?
Howard,
Yeah,
I'd like to add something. For Ashley and Lori's benefit, maybe it can be discussed or noted what has been added or done as far as work on the Milton Creek Reserve in the last year. So they're kept up with that.
Anytime. No, all. Lucas, all right.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe when you're officially on, we could date or something, a little bit more. Sounds good. Okay, on to number 6, master plan standing items. We kind of last month got quagmired in it. Now, John, at one point you said you thought maybe you guys could coordinate going through there, and really coming up with more of what you guys think has been done in it.
Yeah, I did.
Set the seed.
I could do that. I haven't had a chance to, but
Yeah. Okay,
extraordinarily busy.
but but the one that I did want to do, because I know Scott, got a couple of things, is that I asked if you guys read that if anybody has anything, should we be starting our list of what we'd like to have them try to make additions to the Parks and Trails master plan. So the one how can you sum yours up fairly quickly, Scott?
Would like put it on the golf course
Mhm.
onto the master plan because you never know that, you know. If it could come up for sale or not,
Okay,
but it'd be nice to have something in place. I'd like to actually push that as soon as possible.
Okay.
Something that I've been trying to get across for a few months now.
Mhm,
So,
mhm. Well, that's why I kind of put it on there.
yeah,
So, okay, so we've,
so if, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add right now.
I've got a couple of things I may just throw out there for Nob Hill, just.
I mean, more of the Milton Creek Woodland Reserve property, like, I know that part of the trail is included on it as part of the. But more formally as a nature park. Establishing that.
And then the reserve to
Yeah.
the nature park.
Since only part of it is just like outlined as being a part of the. City trail system. Or formally putting it as. Nature park, like proposing the idea as well.
I think the reserve, the idea is to. Preserve, yeah, so it's, it might be redundant. I'm not sure the designation has a name, nature park. How would that affect it? I mean, if it adds to it or detracts from it, I don't know.
You have any thoughts on that one, John, on how to word that for Milton Creek to make it sound better for being on the master plan?
That's where it's been with. Part of the established.
So what I got out of from what Lucas is saying is that right now it's mentioned in the master plan that there could potentially be a trail through that area. So he's saying, let's formally recognize it as a preserve or nature park, whatever it is. Because it's not right now. Right now it's mentioned as a trail.
Okay, okay. Are you getting all that?
That might get more.
Transcribing.
That's very good.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I think we got that. Anybody else have any additions that they would like to add at this time? I'd like to bring up a couple for, Caroline probably doesn't like it all, but I've always wanted to on the master plan to see if we could get the some rocks at the end of 4th Street, delineate more of where the city's property to the 2 houses are that are there. Because they're constantly doing things in the right of way. We've got one that's dumped a huge pile of fence material that's been in there for a couple of years. And the other one that's a rental, they're always like slowly going out farther towards, there's some camas right there. And so I'm thinking that someday, if we ever got some rocks that would be fairly close to where the property line is, that would give people a better idea of where the boundaries are towards the city park. So that's
Just say delineate the property.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Pile of rocks in a line every 10 feet would show more where the boundaries are, wouldn't it? You know, I'm not saying it has to be today or tomorrow.
right, so where it was works.
Yeah, there you go. The other one would be is eventually someday, I'm not saying now, but I still could see the need for eventually, especially as the waterfront gets more developed, that we would have to start probably thinking of trying to add some split rail fencing in some parts of the park to try to emphasize more that that's a camas meadow. Everybody doesn't need to walk up there, step on the camas, destroy the fragile layer of dirt that's over the rock that the camas likes to grow in. You know, that's one of the points I've kind of always had with Caroline is that she's like, oh, just let everybody go wherever. But if you start getting a lot of traffic, do you wait till it's destroyed? Then you got to restore it and try to preserve it before you have to restore it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the 2 things I would like to add into the master plan. You know, it's not a high priority at this time, but I think I'd still like to see it in there at some point. Those 2 things.
Is there anything else?
Huh?
Is there anything else I should say? I mean, I'm just looking forward to, you know, voting on this today and, so we can.
Okay. I guess we could then at this time, see if we want to make a motion to the city to add it to decide if they want to add it to the master plan. Would that be the way to go, John, or just our recommendations, what we've said is good enough for you without a vote?
I think there's a conversation about how you want to queue these up, if they're à la carte. Item by item, or if you want to bring it all.
Each one separately.
Well, we've been looking to do it as a group, I guess cause we all say, oh, we want this, not that.
It could get pretty tedious one.
Yeah. So that's why we're, give them a few at a time.
Yeah,
Gives them a better idea and not overwhelm them with some, if we have more.
like every 6 months or a year, maybe we'll do something, but this could be our 6-month request to add to it, if that sounds reasonable to you, John?
List developing, you want to carry that forward? I'm sure that Counselor Sundin or myself would be happy to do that. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess my understanding was we were gonna keep kind of a running list until the time came when it was a master plan would be happening. The only problem I see is if we're adding every few months to the master plan, you're gonna have 100 different copies of the master plan out there, because some people are gonna have the last version and some people are gonna have the one from 2 months ago, and it seems it's gonna be a lot of work to keep the website updated, and it just, to me, it seems it makes more sense for the commission to keep a running list. And for you,
Because I mean,
for you to manage that for now.
because we've come up with lists before that have gone down a black hole and have never gone anywhere. So that's why we're hoping to be able to,
Get some action.
yeah, get some action on it, if we want to say once a year, we want to have stuff added or, whatever.
I'm just thinking some of the things you mentioned, dumping gravel and putting boulders. Those are things I think you could talk to Buck about right now and have him take care of. I don't see that as something that needs to go on a master plan necessarily.
Because he's looking, with the master plan, what I'm looking for, these things is put it on there so you have it identified and can go out to get grants.
I'm just thinking of some of these big overarching kind of projects and just, but again, things like gravel and things, that seems like something.
Oh, yeah, gravel on a trail, that's
Could take
not
care
all
of
the
that
time.
in a day, so.
It's more of a
Yeah,
type
yeah.
request that you have. I don't want to diminish it.
So I mean, then if got that on mind, then it just boils down to that Scott's got one thing he thinks we need to have a golf course in the city
And the reserve.
and the reserve, So do we go one more month before we say?
Keep a running list internally and. Nobody said.
Discuss this for.
Drop of devil's advocate, let's go one more month and then we'll say that we like what we've suggested today to be on it. Everybody thinking your thinking caps one last time. If there's anything that you think of in any one of our parks. That way, maybe we could just say this happens once a year, that we may give you something to add in there. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I don't even know how much the council would be involved with something like that. I don't think they were very involved with the last one, so I think. I don't know what that looks like.
So I think this is just a wish list though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it as an addendum to the Parks Master Plan that's gonna be updated.
Eventually.
Eventually,
Couple
right,
years.
when we get funding to do it. Which is in the queue of projects,
For funding.
Well, it is, I mean, the state is pretty good about funding through the Transportation Growth Management Program, but
And we may actually have
But things aren't.
we don't have multiple projects per year. So right now we're working on the transportation system plan. We also have the Scappoose sector, the ODOT program. After those we'll make applications for that. It's about a year in advance to get funds. The state hires through that program, they'll hire a parks, we won't have a choice in who it is, but they manage the funding side of it. Choice of contractors. So.
What is, Do the, you know. Master plan.
There is nothing. Sorry.
I mean, we went 20 some. Then I'll probably share, the first one was probably 25 years. Gap there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I have mine here that gives the date of when it was last, or when it kind of started? Does this have it? Adopted 2015. So it's 10 years. So it's I'm at a loss to say where it goes next, to be truthful.
I say we just keep a running list of things we'd like to see.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna keep on around, this is never gonna go. This is,
We can talk about it though, and maybe, who knows, in 6 months we turn it in. I don't know, if we do it every month and like he said, they're gonna get overwhelmed.
yeah, I know. That and
That's what I was trying to say. I wanted to, that's where I was kind of saying if we gather our things and think a time frame like once a year, we may ask them to seriously look at adding some ideas to it, since there is no real date of when it may ever be updated again. That maybe once a year. I think that's why let's go one more meeting next month. If we could put this on the topic again, and maybe we'll pick the date of when we want to just say once a year, we hand in our things that we wanted to be added. Would that sound like a good thing? So it's just a once a year thing that we clear our books rather than trying to hang on to these items indefinitely in a list for us.
probably won't have anything to add. Maybe years.
Mm-hmm.
I see the point in adding these sooner rather than later so that it can get the ball rolling for future endeavors. Because right now, a lot of these are just in stagnation without the formal designation of wanting them to become something more.
I get tired of talking about them if all it does is go on a list and goes in a black hole.
I just think it's important to keep in mind too, if you look at everything that's gone on in the parks in the last 10 years, that wasn't on the master plan. So it's not like it's a necessity that we can't make any improvements in the park unless it was in this master plan. We've had playgrounds, we've had trails, we've had all kinds of improvements that have happened that weren't necessarily recorded in the master plan. So just because your project isn't in the master plan doesn't mean it can't move forward. You can't actively be working on it. There's still a lot of good that can be done without something being listed on paper.
I mean, I guess John knows now that the idea of a golf course is being put into the outside idea.
John.
And the Milton Creek.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
you said. Just have to get the council to agree, but I had to come to you guys first
Uh-huh.
to get the okay.
Okay.
On the master plan. It's 5.
But a total loss on what to.
If you wanna add now, you have my okay.
Ultimately, it's up to you guys to decide how you want to move forward. So if everybody feels strongly about the golf course and wants to move it up, then
Well, it's a golf course too.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that would be that difficult. It wouldn't take this much time. Was up from, naive, I'm sure, but does what he, hey, never, a few weeks time. It's.
I know I could probably use another month to better present this to the city council when the time comes.
Okay.
That's me personally.
Let's just one more month and then we'll make our decision on.
I'm just thinking too, when you look at the master plan, there's projects listed there, but there's also a brief description of what's included in that project. So
Yeah.
if you come up with your list and then also maybe a paragraph for each item about what you anticipate that project looking like, or just a little more information, but actually having a list, not just everyone kind of pulling ideas out of their head, but having a list and having it written down and having something formal to present would be helpful.
Okay.
Scott, if we wait another month, are we gonna miss out on the golf?
I don't know. It's just, I was saying, we're working, trying to get this on months, and, I do have a commitment to close to 100 grand equipment.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it's, so that kind of gives it, you know, some gravitas to it.
Right. But do you think, your personal opinion?
Cause I mean. Isn't the city in a real financial crisis? They're talking about adding a fee to the voters. For all of our services, and if we're that far behind, I can't see that the city'd have any money to say other than, yeah, golf course, yeah, but
What would I envision?
there's much more money to spend at other places.
If, you know, this were to eventually come up for sale, that might be best to partner with Skipper's. Because the golf teams will be able to utilize that. We both utilize an area that the city or the school owns, or by Grace Baptist Church, both Skipper's and Santa Helens right now. That's up for sale. So.
I thought they used Wildwood.
So that. Grace Baptist.
I think it's just a driving range, isn't it, though?
Mhm.
I was under the impression they practice out of. Wildwood.
Not anymore, so. So.
I like to listen to the special session that they're having in another week and see what the city's proposing for raising our rates and putting on the ballot.
This shouldn't have any effect on it. It's not a fee for golf course. That they're discussing.
Yeah, it just, if this city's strapped for money and they're asking for extra money. My personal opinion is I don't want to see a penny on a golf course from that if I get extra fees on my water bill or whatever, however they're talking about doing a vote thing. I'd be against it if I knew anything would go to a golf course.
The thought is that we get it underway that paper itself. John has his reservations on that. More they used to generate. Things that would generate, and he lived on between them, played that.
That'd be nice if we can get it. Be nice if we can get the course and the money that it generated went to the Parks Commission instead of to the general fund.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is gonna use it but us, so.
But technically, if it's a bigger, it is costly to buy it, so that's why.
That's it. Where would the money come from? The city's strapped for money. The city hopefully doesn't have.
Plus, if you could get the people, he says, Dave Lawrence says, you know, there's a lot of people around here be happy to donate their time to get that golf course back into business. And that would be, you know, matching plus his, you know, donation.
But they feel the city really needs to be involved to be able to make it a viable project. What it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you get, you know, for granted. It's.
You tried the county? Cause it's really county property, not city.
Look, it's these things, these golf courses, cities have golf courses. Portland has 5, I think, or 6. So I mean, it's part of like when I was speaking last meeting, that these things are part of the infrastructure. I mean, places have to golf courses, cities have golf courses.
Yeah, they're usually in their city limits though.
Back, not Portland's, they have golf courses outside of city limits, like I said last meeting. So,
The city owns property outside of city already.
Yeah,
San Andreas.
I mean,
No, I think it's a good idea. I do. Like I said, I'd like to see that if we did do it,
mhm.
the money from the golf course stay with the park. But that's just a pipe dream.
Yeah, it is. It just, it's just a pipe dream. Yeah.
start soon. Trying to get started.
I don't know where to go with it, to be truthful. I'm at a total loss.
What would you like us to do?
Well,
Amend the master plan so that we can have a golf course.
I'll put it on the, one of the things, cause it's all, you know, a wish list on the master plan.
Uh-huh.
So we have a golf course, it's we have the capacity to, if it comes up, to make a try.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I just want to hear more about where the city's budget is and how bad of a shortfall we're in, that if we're end up cutting park staff and other things, that they're threatening that if they don't get more money, I hate wasting a moment's time on certain things when the money that we have needs to go to support
We have
what
none.
we have.
We have none.
Yeah.
We have none.
I think,
No money, you mean, for the city?
Yeah, we never have.
We never had, so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean. I have no way to lead this discussion. I'm flabbergasted.
I think all he's asking is just have it included, just put it in there.
Put it in, okay,
So
so
it's
then.
gonna get done,
so
it's gonna
we're
get
asking
done,
to
you know.
do is to amend the master plan right now,
There's a lot of things.
to put a golf course and the trail onto the master plan is what you guys are saying.
Yes.
I think what Brandon was asking was to have a little bit more specifics in there, you know, the project and a little bit more than
That's
just
what I
a
wanted.
blanket statement. So that's
Yeah.
why we said we come back next month, right, with a little more, something detailed written out that we can make a motion on, right?
Yeah.
More,
Sure.
I guess, that's kind of what I'm hearing, but.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So let's delay it one more month and we'll make a final decision on it next month.
Maybe we'll have a golf course again. Enjoy the golf. course.
Next month, we're talking about a golf course.
Okay. So that takes care of number 6, I guess, for now. Staff reports.
Alright. Well, we had some meetings with Bailey Feakin about the wind phones, got the pad poured, we got the bench in, the concrete bench.
Interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm not sure, your name.
Oh, I'm Corey Shelby. I'm the Parks Field Supervisor. I'm just here because Buck took the day off and so he wanted me to step
Way to go,
in.
Tori, way to go.
Yep. No, you're fine. So we got the bench in, got the pole in to put the phone on. The ceremony is Thursday, the 19th at 10:30 a.m. at McCormick Park. So we'll be putting everything up that morning and having the ceremony. We also got a pad poured for the Lions bench on the other side of the bridge at McCormick. We had one of our information signs come down. We are in the process of rebuilding and putting that up. Finishing up leaf season, kind of helping with some Roger work around the city. And Buck got his promotion to the Public Works Operation Manager.
Okay.
That was my last update.
Good job, Buck.
You have any more ideas on when the pad for our bench at Nob Hill may happen?
So we're doing concrete this week, so yours is the next one. So it should be, it's either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay. And then the
And
possibility,
then kiosks are next.
okay,
So that pad for yours is next, and then kiosks will be the next concrete.
We get a permanent foundation. I have the whole done, including concrete. My Chevy delivered in like 6 weeks.
All right,
We're good.
yeah, no problem.
okay, any other staff reports?
Yeah, one thing I would like to raise for your awareness, Sand Island Marine Park is, you know, a city park and it's not very accessible for maintenance and things, but I've been working with the owner over there, getting them in compliance with there's camping spots and just kind of little lease agreements and things of that nature. Got over there with a whole group of people and looked at all the invasives and all the cottonwoods and thinking, you know, we could do better on Sand Island as far as having a tree planting plan and removing invasives, and it'd be a lot nicer over there. And then I met with Soil and Water Conservation District folks, and they have funds available to do plantings and things of that nature. And if they've got an opportunity here with out at the mill site about 3 years ago, there was a DQ inspection that we paperwork inspection that when Cascades was leaving, there was nobody there, and that there's some reporting that didn't get done, and Cascades took their records with them when they left. But we got this penalty that was assessed, and then we appealed it, and it came back and it reduced it significantly. But the net of it was that you can do a project to an environmental benefit to basically work it off. And so we're thinking of a partnership of using our resources, you know, city staff resources to go over and do some invasive removal. Using the Soil and Water Conservation Districts to do a plan and some trees and that all coming together. I don't know if the commission wants to have it that. That's really my question. Plan, or if you want to work with the campground operator to make it work. The thought is putting native trees, you know, cedars and other things.
Whatever happened with that? At one point, weren't they supposed to help provide access for the citizens to go over there, but it was never written down and
That whole thing is a debacle. No.
yeah,
The way the lease, it is, there is access. It's not free.
I always thought that part of their thing was supposed to, there was a verbal agreement that,
So but it's not, it's a very extensive lease agreement that has very specific.
and that got left out of the actual writing to get our citizens out there to the
Remember,
island.
he came here and told us all about the lease agreement.
So there's,
There is a shuttle to the island, when on the busier days, they switch just to campers, because that's all they can accommodate.
okay, because I thought it was supposed to have been more than that when it was first brought up, so. That was the impression that I was under, and a lot of other people in the community thought that, you know, that there was, but now basically you can't, there's, the only way for general public to get to Sand Island is to pay for a camping fee or to take your own boat over there.
Like it was before, right?
Yeah, well, the city ran a shuttle for a year,
That was here, he ran a show.
which was really, really neat that the city provided that. You know, so, okay,
Since the city never ran a shuttle.
well, we owned a boat, didn't we? Did,
The boat was transferred to the island operator, so
okay,
he's never woperated a shuttle, so.
who
That
took
that
people
was
over
the
there
one doing
for
the
a
shuttle
year?
rides, I thought.
Who took people over there for a year on a shuttle? Before they had the lease agreement?
Campground folks, yeah.
I think it's sort of was that.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I thought it was,
Not
pretty
on
sure it
not
was.
that boat.
yeah,
No, he had like a shuttle boat, he shuttled people back and forth.
they did for one whole summer, and then the yachtsman said, hey, you're bringing all these people over here to the island and there's no enforcement and you need to stop.
And that was Andrew, which works for Brad, so. Yeah. I remember the riff, so.
Okay,
So getting back to the plan. We have review it before the.
I'm happy to bring it in when gets done.
yeah, I think the
That's
park,
agreeable with everybody.
no, we need to be involved a little more in what goes on Sand Island because it is a city park.
That we have no control of.
Yeah. That's the weird part.
Some other opportunities we may want to think about is some additional crossings over Milton Creek. The footbridge.
Mhm.
Footbridge that's in McCormick Park there was something Jenny and I worked on years ago, and we always envisioned another one further down. So you have
Down-
multiple places to cross the
Down
creek.
towards the channel.
Channel, or maybe even a midpoint coming down and back,
There's a-
because it gets really wide down there. There's the floodplain issues are that's significant further up you are.
Right now, we have.
That's what we walked to last time.
They're fine with us using that bridge. That's at the, that goes to Fulton Jones.
Another wouldn't hurt.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh, the big-
The old bridge, the wooden bridge,
That locked one, yeah.
yeah, they're fine with pedestrian, they're just worried about vehicle access. They think it's fine for pedestrians to cross it. It's also looked at it going up the sojourns on into the reserve. The railroad bridge, you could actually construct a way of getting across underneath that. Will be all it needs is boards. So it's all structures. That'd be, could be another way if the railroad is all right with it. I don't know. Is that option? I think we change it out, but it's what we said.
Yeah, paper mill will be receiving material that there at some point.
Will be a railroad tracks.
In railroad tracks.
Yes. Be nice to have. A bridge.
Midpoint. Thing, Oregon, the state parks is pretty generous before and. We had internal resources. Roger was really great about building the foundation for
Oregon Goose. You said
the state parks.
We also know somebody really good on the state parks now, don't we?
Our own grants manager, yes, Jim Dimshow is now the grants manager for the state, so.
Yes.
Yeah, they good in there. She didn't come back. We said she went to a good spot.
I think that'll suit her really well. I'm happy for her. Okay, so that was counselor's report, discussion items.
So we need to.
What?
That was a-
Oh, counselor, or, oh, yeah, sorry, Brandon.
We'll skip right over
I
it.
Counselor.
don't have too much. I just want to thank you guys for all that you do and all the time you put into your jobs here, but thanks for organizing Lucas and Scott, whoever else went into it, but that field trip, I heard really good things, so I think the more opportunities to get people out there, the better. The only thing that just popped into my head as we were sitting here, so this year, we're gonna mark the country's 250th birthday. And just thinking over past years, so back in the late 50s, St. Helens entered a national competition to improve and beautify your community. And they won this nationwide contest. And as part of that process, two of the projects that they worked on in town were building parks. So Civic Pride Park was one of those, which was once a really nice, beautiful, active park. And then the Sixth Street Ballpark was another park that was built during that era. So that really ugly sign you see on the highway across from Safeway, that's what that's referring to when it says National Community Achievement Winner. That's referring back to the late 50s. Then 50 years ago for the bicentennial, they sponsored another park as kind of a bicentennial project, and that was the Botanical Gardens. And so Jim Davis, who was the parks director at the time, told me, he said they had this big grand vision and they planted all these bulbs and plantings in there. And he said, and then we found out it was too dark for anything to grow. And the squirrels dug up all the bulbs, and it never really developed into the botanical gardens that he had envisioned. But that was a bicentennial project. And so just wanted to invite you guys to think of if there's anything that the commission can do this year to kind of commemorate that event, any kind of project you could take on, or some kind of lasting legacy, some kind of monument, whether it's big or small or whatever it might be, but something in the parks to commemorate the event. So just something to think about. Anything you guys need?
No.
Most of you know how to get a hold of me if you do.
Yeah.
Join the crowd.
Very interesting thought there, Brandon.
That's my retirement.
Watchery. I guess we're on to discussion items then. You guys had any discussion items before I speak up? Any from the web people? Doesn't look like it, you know. I was mainly gonna say two things. We've got a brand new volunteer that's been helping a lot and then actually has been working real hard on weeding the railroad tie staircase that I used to do, but she's kind of taken over weeding the railroad tie staircase between our Nob Hill Nature Park and the main trail down below, and it's looking much better than what it was. I think there's still going to be a little bit of gravel moving that she's going to do and a few other things, but I was happy that we've got somebody that's kind of decided that she enjoys doing that. She's been coming out and helping us a lot on Sunday mornings. Even though she got poison oak in the park, she's still a gung-ho volunteer and wants, she says that's not gonna persuade her any way, shape or form in what she's been helping us in the park, which is really a great volunteer to have. When somebody gets poison oak and still be happy to help. I also do have another, I'm gonna laugh at this one. We've got a new one in our parks that people are starting to do, and that is they're walking cats. And since we firmed up our leash laws with 6-foot dogs on leash, I noticed that this one gentleman had his cat on a 16-foot leash going after squirrels, birds, taking the cat off trail. Do we want to try to have the city change the wording more so it's like pets or something rather than just saying, I don't know.
Don't say dogs on it, or it just says 6-foot leash.
It says 6-foot leash and I believe it's just pertaining to dogs. So we're gonna need to talk about that eventually because I think we're headed for trouble if you have people walking cats on 16-foot leashes and what happens if a dog gets in there.
We need to clarify.
What kind
Yeah.
of cat lets you take it off?
Let the cat catch the squirrel. That squirrel teach it a lesson.
Not necessarily. I mean, they could go after amphibians, newts. You know, there's so many other things. The cats are a much more hunter.
How do you put a cat on a leash?
Yeah. but
They got them on a leash and a harness. I've heard of it 3 or 4 different times now.
What about the wild cats? Cats that roam.
That's worse, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
20 cats on my street. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Roam, so
but
do have territories, but some of their territories are quite big.
you know, but especially if we have nature areas and stuff, it's not really wise to have people intentionally letting them go after the wildlife in our nature areas.
Yeah, but if you have wildcats, they're gonna go after them too, and you can't stop them.
So we don't worry about cats going after our bird life, snakes, frogs and everything else in our parks.
Well, we do, but then you'd have to actually, it's just not on leash, then you'd have to start talking about having them, all, these cats. Having to be on leashes everywhere, so. I don't think.
I think just in a city park is what I'm talking about. You know, that a cat on a leash should be same as a dog.
Doesn't the law apply to everywhere for the leash law? So, or is it just for the?
Well, that's why I was hoping Buck was gonna be here because he's been a great one in helping us.
I was gonna say, cause I haven't looked up any of those. I'm not 100% sure on all that. I do believe it says dog though, and
Yeah.
most of our signs say dog. They do not say animal or anything like that.
Cause somebody could start bringing a ferret in on a leash and, you know, it's not fair for dogs to be confined to 6-foot leashes and then somebody can walk a cat in there on whatever they want to. You know, so. Think about that. I'll put it on the agenda for next month to talk more about it. Any other comments?
I guess, yeah, I probably could give an update on some of the things I've been doing at the parks. Of course, we walk the Dalton trails a couple times a month and we pick up any kind of garbage, which is rare on the trails. And I need to order a couple of signs and ODOT has a crew that went out and cut all of the ivy at the trees and did some pulling as well. So that was, it's quite a job for 56 acres. And so everything's looking good there. Let's see, Walnut Tree Park. I think somebody was trying to help and picked up some limbs and other debris, and they put it by the garbage can instead of in the back, in the corner where we usually put our items. So we picked all those up, and one was pretty heavy, but we got it back where maintenance knows where to pick it up, and they did really very soon. And let's see, they're going to be installing a kiosk for the Civic Pride Park. We had cut a lot of blackberries down with a hedge trimmer. It was really thick. And I'm going to be working with a museum now for historical pictures for Civic Pride. And that's it.
Have anything else? Discussion items? Well, I guess we had a reasonable length meeting today then. This will adjourn. More next month. Thank you for